Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, one and only, here with another exciting video. And in this video I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. I'm going to be playing in the world of Zorma, which is a world that I created in AI Dungeon 2. Zorma is a modern world that has had contact with both heaven and hell. I've created my own character, so real quick we're going to walk through the character that I created. Then after that we're going to generate a prompt that features this character. Then I'm going to read through the prompt, and then after that I'm going to start a 10-minute timer so we can jump into a 10-minute adventure that takes place within this prompt. Without further ado, let's read up on the character. So my character's name is Gena. She's female. She is a golem. Golems are men, really they're people or beings, made from dust and empowered by the forces of sanctity by a sanctity force manipulator. Golems can have their bodies modified using sculpting, which can grant them additional abilities. Golems can't speak, but they can communicate in different ways, like through sign language, writing, Morse code, etc. Then for my class, I picked Pure Code Core Ring Wielder. So the Pure Code Core Ring Wielders are those who have gotten possession of Pure Code Core rings, whether they are supposed to have them or not. Each Pure Code Core ring makes anyone who wears it pure and capable of using the alphabet of the realm code, the Hebrew alphabet, to cast incantations. Pure Code Core rings translate realm code into what each letter of the realm code can do in order to quickly craft incantations. Pure Code Core rings can only be used to cast righteous incantations. Then for my faction, I chose Mercenary/Treasure Hunter. Mercenaries and treasure hunters are hired to travel the world, assassinating high-profile targets and collecting incredible treasures. The greediest of mercenaries and treasure hunters will work with angels and demons alike, if the pay is good enough. And then for the starting location, I picked the Valley of Treasure and Death. The Valley of Treasure and Death is the location of a recent treasure hunt gone wrong. The mercenary group lost all of their valuables and were forced to evacuate from the valley. It is now crawling with angry demons and angels and has become a dangerous place to travel. So yeah, that's where I'm going to start my adventure. So let's see how this goes. I'm pretty excited. I think this is like an interesting combination. Let's see, get your treasure back from the valley is my quest, which implies that I have lost treasure specifically. Okay. Zorma is a modern world that has had contact with both heaven and hell. You are Gena, a female golem. You're a member of a group of treasure hunters that have recently failed to get their treasure and lost it all to angry angels and demons. You're here in the valley with your mercenary group, trying to figure out what went wrong and if there's any chance of getting your treasure back. You look at your map and ponder your next move. The valley is a large open space in the middle of a forest. It's the only way through the mountains, which are full of demons on one side and angels on the other. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. So my goal is to try and get the treasure back, and I can cast righteous incantations using my ring. Okay. I wonder if any of my fellow mercenaries are sculptors, because they could potentially sculpt me additional things that I could use in order to help try and get our treasure back. So the first thing that I should do is start up the 10-minute timer, of course, and let's just jump right into the adventure. Let me make sure I'm already recording. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask my mercenary group if any of if any of them are sculptors. Sculptors? Yeah. You let them know using sign language that you can gain additional abilities if additional features are sculpted onto your body. Okay, let's see. You mention that if you had wings sculpted for you, that you could fly. Yeah, that I could fly over the valley in order to find the missing treasure. Okay, so let's see how this goes. You are approached by a 6'8" man covered in metal and spikes. One of his arms is a large axe blade. He and his buddy both wear lots of leather and studs and very little armor. He signs to you. Oh, he signs too? Is he a golem? Is he a golem who has an axe for a hand? Because that actually is really cool. Like, I vibe with that. He's very tall, incredibly tall. He signs to you. We don't have wings, but we do have a pilot's license. He pulls out a small wooden plane and shows it to you. A small wooden plane? We could fly you over the valley, but it'd be pretty bumpy and you might fall out. This is a very interesting concept, I guess. You sign, that plane would need to be a lot bigger in order to carry us over the valley. I wonder if I can use my pure code core ring in order to increase that toy plane to actual size and to give it the ability to function as a real plane. Yeah, so this is actually pretty cool so far. Like, I already like the basic premise. We immediately started with a problem, and we were introduced to like a fun character. You sign, I'll try to ring the incantation needed to make that toy plane bigger. I wonder if I can find a toy or something else small in order to test that it worked. You look around at your other mercenary group members. Retry, because it kind of tried to repeat what I said. I want to actually do something. You sign to the mercenaries that you want to test out your new ring before you attempt flying in it. What? Before I attempt to fly in the plane? What does that mean? You concentrate and try to turn the small plane into a full-size passenger plane. So when I'm saying flying in it, it is referring to the plane, like the little toy plane or whatever. You succeed, and the plane grows to a size that would allow it to fly in the air with lots of extra room for passengers. The mercs seem impressed by your new spellcraft. Ballin'. Okay, cool. So I'm going to hop into the plane and ride with the mercenaries above the valley to investigate where the treasure, well, I guess to look for the lost treasure. Searching for lost treasure in a plane seems really interesting. It makes me feel like a pirate, but I'm like a pirate of the skies kind of thing. You get into the plane with your mercenary pals, and they explain that you should strap in for safety before the flight. You do so, and notice the controls of the plane seem very simplistic. Given how small the plane was previously, you're impressed at how advanced the technology of this world has become. Okay, cool. Excuse me, I'm just going to hit enter. Because we need to take off and start searching for the treasure. It's interesting that there's someone who just has toys. You wave to your friends and family. My friends and family shouldn't be here. We're in the valley of death and treasure or whatever. Let's see. The mercenaries strap in as well and start up the engine of the plane. The plane begins to shake a lot, and the mercs turn on some music to fill the silence as you travel through the air. Okay. I'm going to look around at the ground below to see if I can spot the treasure. And let me check my time. So I have 4-something minutes left, which isn't bad. That means we're a little over half time so far. You're sitting in the back of the plane as it flies through the air at a very high altitude. You can see the curvature of the Earth clearly thanks to this height. I'm specifically looking to see if I can spot the treasure from where I'm at. The beautiful landscape below dazzles your eyes, and you can see mountains, rivers, forests, fields, and several other types of terrain down there. It is truly a sight to behold. Okay, I enjoy the spectacle. Like, that's cool. Treasure. Looking for treasure. I'm a treasure hunter. You're strapped into a seatbelt, and the plane is filled with a few other people who have come along for the ride. There's a man strapped into the seat next to you who's wearing red leather armor and an iron helmet. He also has a large battle axe on his back. Okay? Weird. I kind of don't like that last part because I already know that the people who are with me are like members of the mercenary guild. I kind of like the description of the mercenary that they gave. That was cool, but it acted as if like I don't necessarily know everybody who's here, even though I should because we're all here together as a group. I'm gonna ask the rest of the group if anyone has spotted treasure on the ground below. Yeah, because it's like we're looking for the treasure that we found, but so far all I can see is like the beauty of the world, which is cool, but we're looking for a thing. The mercs at this point stop the music and begin yelling at each other while you sit in awkward silence. The pilot points down and says, "I think I see it." You can't see what he's pointing at, so you crane your neck a bit to the left. Okay, cool. I have like mere minutes left. Like we kind of need to get to the part where we go down and like get the treasure. But then at the same time, it's not like I can fly. Like I'm at the mercy of the pilot. Then the pilot points up and says, "And there it is." Wait, what? So it's like I tried to look down to see the treasure, and then he points up. You look up and see an airship shaped like a skull overhead. It looks quite close. In fact, it almost looks like you're gonna ram into it. Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm going to unfasten my seatbelt and try to run out of the plane and onto the airship. So earlier I made that like reference to like I feel like a sky pirate kind of thing. I think that's straight up what this skull airship thing is. Like it just is like a pirate airship. You leap out of the plane. The wind feels really good on your face right now. Granted, you aren't exactly sure that you're going to survive this fall, but at least you're enjoying yourself before you hit the ground and break every bone in your body. You thought that you'd be able to make the jump onto the skull airship, but you must have miscalculated the jump. Okay. You attempt to cast an incantation with your ring to sculpt your back with wings to allow you to fly. Yeah, so that actually is kind of interesting. So I tried to do the thing that you see in pirate movies where like the pirates will like the two ships will get really close and then they essentially like run and jump from one ship to another. I tried to do that in the sky, which kind of sucks. You speak the words of the incantation and feel your body changing. The earth quickly approaches and you don't feel like you're flying fast enough. Ooh, how does it end though? So with one big breath, you jump off the plane and try to fly. I already jumped off the plane. Aw, it didn't like fully. Let me retry that one thing. I just want to see how it ends. Okay, the incantation works and you begin to flap your new wings. You now have wings and soar through the air like a bird. You see the skull airship below you and realize you're going to reach it before impact with the earth. Oh, hold on. So we were gonna ram into the airship, but I just realized something. The airship probably has like a big like skull-shaped balloon or something. I jump, and it's not that I'm not gonna reach the airship, it's just a big fall, right? So it's like, sure, we would have collided with the ship, and that probably wouldn't have been good, but the distance between our plane and like the area of the ship I want to land at could still be like a huge drop, which I guess I didn't consider. So it wasn't that I was gonna like splat on the ground. It was more that I was gonna like splat on the airship. So now I've like grown wings, so maybe I could try and like break my fall, like catch the wind and use my wings like a parachute or something. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. Sadly, we didn't get the opportunity to actually get our hands on any treasure, but we did get to see some cool stuff along the way. Like, it's not really about the destination, it's about the journey. We got to see like a cool merc that had like an axe for a hand, and he was like totally decked out with like leather and studs. And he also signed, but I guess he signs with like one hand rather than signing with like both hands, or he somehow knows how to sign with an axe. I don't know how that would work. Or maybe he can turn his axe into a normal hand. They don't really explain it. But he had a friend, and I wonder if he was a golem who had an axe hand, and if his friend sculpted his like axe hand or something. Um, because I asked if anyone knew how to sculpt, and they didn't really say that they didn't. They just said, "Hey, we don't have wings, but we have this like plane." I also think it's interesting that we had like a guy who just has like toys and stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I have like this really like small plane that I like pulled out or whatever." Because they say that he pulls it out. Um, we don't have wings, but we do have a pilot's license, and then it said he pulls out a small wooden plane, kind of thing. So I kind of like the idea of there being a guy on the team who's like, I have toys, and it seems silly that I have toys, but there's just another member of the team who can like make those toys into real things. Like I wonder if I had more time to talk to him, if he would have been like, yeah, I have like cars, planes, boats, I have like all kinds of toy vehicles, and then using your powers you can just make them into like functioning vehicles. Or if he had like toy weapons or other like toy accessories, and my purpose on the team could be to like make those things work alongside us using my incantations. So that's actually like a really cool concept that I would love to explore more in the future. I also like the concept of like a big skull-shaped airship. Like I said, it just sounds like the sky pirate thing that I was thinking about before. And I also like the concept that we go there, like to the valley, thinking like, oh, we're gonna have to fight like all these angels and demons in order to get our treasure back. And then it turns out, no, you're gonna have to fight other treasure hunters who have already claimed your treasure. You gotta fight against like these air pirates. If you guys want to see a sequel to this video, let me know on Discord. The way that I've been doing sequel stuff recently is that if you guys want to see a certain video, just hit me up with your video idea on Discord. And if I like your video idea, then I'll make it a reality, but I'll charge you for it. So I'll charge you $7 per hour length of the video, with $7 minimum if you want a video that's less than an hour. Also, if you guys just want to help support the channel, feel free to hit up our Cash App. Link to the Discord and the Cash App in the description box below. Every donation truly helps to grow the channel further. Also, if you guys are fans of AI Dungeon 2 content, make sure you smash that subscribe button, because I do AI Dungeon 2 videos every day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Like the One Only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it about.